Hello, 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 hello. Okay, it works. Cool. So, welcome to the next stream of building OpenEngine. So this is just my little streaming plan here. It started off the same a couple of times now. The purpose of the stream is to show the build process for a piece of software I'm creating and show how it can be used to crawl a blog. So the idea is I'm going to just crawl 300 pages of this blog that I'm interested in, and then I'm going to use that for my search engine, to test my search engine. So the point of the overarching point of all of these streams is to build a tool that I'm calling OpenEngine. And this is an open search engine that is supposed to be very easy, or that will be very easy for anybody to download, to load onto Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services, like any sort of hosting provider that uses Docker containers, and makes it possible for you to crawl websites like that you're interested in and create your own search index and your own search engine. And the idea behind that is whenever I use Google, it always gives me content that I'm not interested in, particularly if I'm looking for something niche. So it's quite good at general stuff that's falls well within the bounds of normal things that the average population is searching for. But when you want something niche, it always falls down. It doesn't give you the information you want. If you want something really like specific and interesting, it's not going to give it to you. So the point of OpenEngine is to let people curate their own search engines, build their own niche indexes, and then host them themselves and make money from it. And then over time, hopefully we can build up a collection of search indexes which then anybody can, which then can be added to, I guess, like a search engine that has all of the search indexes, and we can build something that is like Google but for all the niches. So we're getting away from like the Google method, which is crawl everything and then use algorithms to find out what's best. Instead, we're going to crawl the niches and then only search the niches. And so it's all curated human content, basically. So there's a human in the loop. Okay. The reason I'm crawling the blog I'm crawling is that I want to create a website called the Usefulati. And the Usefulati is going to be a search engine across the blogs and content that people who I believe are actually useful in the world have written or have talked about or whatever. And this would mean people who are, for me, building really interesting tech or having a major impact on the world in an actually useful way. So, for example, like a politician who just talks nonsense is never going to make it on this. A industry leader or whatever, you know, like a managerial type who isn't like an entrepreneur, who isn't actually making a change, they're never going to make it onto a list like this. And the reason I want to do this is because these people write interesting content, but they don't market it. They don't try and game the algorithm. They just let people find it if they find it. And I would rather that be the first content I see. So I have explained briefly how the tech works, but essentially the way it works is there are two databases. Maybe I should, while I'm here, let's do an Escaladraw. How do I get the thing? There it is. Community plugins, browse. Oh, I've already got it. Where is it then? Escaladraw. Oh, it's not on. There we go. Yep, thanks. Right. Escaladraw. Let's call it. Rename. Software plan. Software plan? No. OpenEngine architecture. Right. So I'm going to use this for It's deliberately messy, by the way. I'm going to use this for... What? Hello? Delete that. Yeah. If I click this, where's this color? Yeah. So I'm going to use this color, this circle, and this color for the quadrant database, and then I'll use this one for the, why not, Postgres database. So can I write something in there? No, I can't. Really? Can't do text. Layers. Move up, move down, stroke width. Ah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, let's call this quadrant. Let's make it black. And then let's call this Postgres. Well, right, so these are the two databases that I'm using. Quadrant is basically a vector database, and it stores vector embeddings. And so this is one way that you can search information. So if I had a piece of text, I could embed it into a numerical representation. That is a representation in some, like, in this case, 384 dimensional space, and that gives it a semantic meaning. And that meaning allows you to send in a search query, and that query is embedded in the same numerical space, and text that has an embedding close to your question embedding is related and therefore should be what you're searching for. So that's the metric that you're using. And Postgres, more simply, is for storing metadata and information about the page, how many times I've crawled it, what links does it have, so that I can eventually build the Google original PageRank algorithm, because it's now open source. Yeah, so that's that. So this is where I'm storing the information. And then we have, if I zoom out a little bit, then we have a crawler. And let's call this my crawler. And what happens is, let's do this for that. Oops. Let's give you an even different color. This is the LQ, shall we say? Oops. Why did it decide to do that? That's better. Yep, so this is the LQ. Q of ours. That doesn't work very well, does it? Anyway, it's an async IOQ, which is async IO is how you do asynchronous input output in Python, which means it's non-blocking, which means you can it basically means if there is an operation that's IO bound, as in you're calling out to a web server and then you're waiting for the return, you don't actually have to wait for that return. You can do something else whilst you wait. And this is called non-blocking because it doesn't block the flow of the computer program. Okay, so we have from here, Postgres provides these URLs. Okay. Cool. And then we go from here to here. So technically this could be, let's just do it like this so it's obvious that this can be this can have more than one crawler. And these guys, maybe I should just write what they are. So basically they just call the URL and they pull that URL in and turn it into a beautiful soup object and then provide it to a processor. So then it goes forward. Well, actually, no, before it does that, we go into a response queue. Okay, and then this response queue will feed into a processor. Okay. Cool. And then the other thing that happens is when the crawler reads the URL, or gets the soup, sorry, it takes oh, sorry, actually. Yeah, first of all, it basically gets all the URLs from the A tags in the HTML that's returned. And it puts it through a okay. Yeah, so it puts new URLs into a pattern filter. Okay, so basically, if I have a pattern filter, that means I'm, in this case, checking for the websites that I'm interested in. Is this one of the websites that I have put down as saying I would like to crawl this site? If it is, that L goes into the L queue and it will be crawled next. The processor basically goes to quadrant and it goes to, whoops. Can I zoom in here? Yeah. And it goes to Postgres. And I'm just going to draw. Yeah, that's good enough, isn't it? What? No. Okay. No thanks. There we go. That's good. Yeah, so the processor goes to PostgreSQL and Quadrant, and why can't I move where that is? Fine. No. That's annoying. And we're going to update Postgres with metadata. And for this one, it's add vector embeddings to Quadrant. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of these. Just safe to assume that this does the same. Right, can I move that somehow? No. Irritating. Anyway, that's that. And then for the search part, I'll just do this. Say this is search. That one. Search. This goes to here. And then this comes back to there. Okay. So that's roughly the architecture. We could have more of these. So I'll just add in something here to show that. There could be multiple of these. There's only one L queue, there's only one response queue. They're shared. The L queue is shared by the crawlers. The response queue is shared by the processors. And you can have as many processors and as many crawlers as you like. So this is the architecture. It's quite simple. And I'll be back in just a second. Oops. Huh? Okay. So. Right. So let's get on with the stream then. This is everything explained, I think. Maybe not briefly, but as I explained. So previously, I was trying to crawl CJ Handmer's blog for 300 links. He's basically one of the tech people I'm interested in, and he writes lots of stuff, and I find it interesting. So that's what I'm going to try and crawl. I'm just going to carry on from where I left off. So I'm setting up a Postgres client. I'm setting up a quadrant vector client. I'm adding CJ Handmer's website link to my database. And I've got a sentence transformer model. This is the embedding model. This is the model that makes the vectors. And I've got a revisit delta, which is basically just used for me to decide if I want to re-look at some of the URLs in the Postgres database. And because I do want to look at obviously want to look at this one URL that I'm crawling again, I've got it set to time delta microseconds equals 1. But this would realistically probably be more like, I don't know, every 5 days or every 3 days or something. Okay. So that's all set up. That's the setup done. That's how I end the Postgres server. I'm not going to do that. And then this is the code. OQ1. Okay, so what's the issue now? A bytes-like object is required, not str. Final URL equals URL and pass, blah, blah, blah. Create crawler coroutine. Bytes-like object is required, not str. Okay. So let's see where this is falling down. This is falling down in utility. And normally when this sort of stuff happens, it's good to write a test to check what the behavior is and prevent it from happening. So we've got this final O, print, cleaned out. And I also get this other weird little bug. Pass results. Path B, params B, fragment B. Why am I getting that then? Scheme equals B. Yeah, just do this. This is a good way to integration test your code, by the way. Do it via Jupyter Notebook. Whoops. None. Well, why would there be a none in this? What? So it's saying it did it that time. There's no error. What the f... What? Okay, well, I don't know. I don't really want that to happen again. So I guess I'll... Can that just fit? Oh, just fits. Yeah. Right, so L's equal none. Yep. And then we can PyTest test you. Oh, actually, poetry shell. Bam. Yeah. So what we want is oh, for God's sake, go away. Of course, it's going to be a list. Oh, I haven't said that up here, have I? List of type str. There we go. Easy. I don't know why that happened, but it's a bit annoying when stuff like that happens and it's just non-repeatable. What can you do? Okay, so we have crawled Casey Handmere several times now because it's actually working and it's storing sites. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill that, and I guess I should probably also check. When did this start? So it started at 15. If it was 28 minutes ago, 29 minutes ago, that would be 23. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't. It would be 13. Yeah. Do. So this is also what I like to do, by the way. I like to take notes on what I'm doing. Shutting down Quadro database. So this is, again, something I like to do. So I like to ask ChatGPT. I'm sure lots of people do, to be fair, but Fine. This may or may not work, to be fair. But let's do that. I guess it wasn't running. Weird. So this is, if this is the setup of everything, all my ephemeral stuff, or basically stuff that is going to die soon, it's not meant to be permanent. This is my shutdown of the ephemeral stuff. So if I do this again, I guess it could be maybe I didn't get the error because, yeah, maybe I didn't get the error because it wasn't the same. I wasn't loading from the same. In fact, I'm just going to run this quickly and check it does. Yeah, it does work. Okay. Maybe when I was running this, because I had 5 Casey Handmere things. Jesus, I've got so many. Maybe it just didn't add any others. Okay. Key error href. Fucking hell. God. What's going on here? What's going on? People using A tags without an href. I'm not having it. Hey. This is good. This is what I want to see. Bam. Quite a lot of little vectors there. And then... Okay, we don't want that there, do we? Now what we want is... what is it? Client. From resources, no, select start from resources. Let's queue up. Output, what's that? Huh? Oh. What? Storage, test, storage. Okay. Where am I? Yeah. Hey, nice. So we got Casey Hanmere twice. We don't want that, but we'll fix that later. And we got the second one. Huh? We only got 2. Why is that? So slightly confused by that, but one thing at a time. href was never retrieved. Okay. So this is in projects open source process.py. Am I already printing the link somewhere? In fact, actually, I need to do this, don't I, really? Okay. Let's try that again. href content skip to content. Oops, why am I printing that out? Printing out HTML somewhere. Is that in crawl? Don't need that. Let's do that instead. This is a weird one. This one's popped up a few times. Async list object is not subscriptable. I was like, oh, it's not an async list, but it is. Why is this randomly shown up again? It's because I removed that statement. Where was it? Was it in here? Yeah, it was here, right? For some reason, that fixes it, does it? This is such a random bug. Async list object is not subscriptable. Well, it most certainly isn't, but also, why are you trying to subscript it? Let's see. You branching out to Python then? Let's see. Okay, I think I would actually know. Now I think about it. Guess I could debug this. Yeah. Okay, cool. So if I go to crawler, let's put a breakpoint there. Type scene. Base site client end filter args response. Scene else crawl.async list object at etc. Step over. Step into. Scene else. Async list. What? I do not get that. That is so strange. Yeah, pretty sure that's not the case. I'll try this though. And no. Let's kill that. Oh, why is that? Oh. Disconnect. Yep. Cool. Start again. Crawl built-ins. What? Oh. What? No. Delete that. Try this again. What are you doing at the moment? What are you doing at the moment, Kieran? Where are you from, Kieran? Yeah, so it's crawl, and asynchronous, class, crawl, async list. So why doesn't it like that? It's so random. Okay, well, fine. Yeah, but what are you doing to learn? I mean, this is, for example, this is something that I do quite a lot. I I use flashcards to learn things. And I find myself making quite a lot of these. So you can see for web and app development, I've got 695 terms that I use. And this is all open source as well. And I've actually linked it in the description. So if you were interested, you could come and read these. So at the moment, 7 studies today. That's cool. Yeah, so for example, I'm just thinking whenever I'm coding, I'm always thinking, okay, well, when I don't understand something, I should note down somewhere, 1, what it is I don't understand, and then 2, find the solution immediately, and 3, put it in a format that means I can relearn that information if I have to. And I find flashcards really good for this because you can basically just store the information, question and answer, and then later on go through your flashcards and you'll be reminded of that information that you learned. And so I've got 378 terms here. Well, this is quite a lot of knowledge contained simply in flashcards, and by forcing yourself to re-remember, you can get away from constantly looking things up, which really slows you down. So if you want to be really good at programming, you want to be in a flow state, you don't really want to be looking things up. I'm looking up a lot of things. I still look up lots of things because anything that I'm going to stream is going to be probably something that requires me to look things up because it has to be interesting enough to stream it, basically. It's not going to be something simple. So making a new search engine, I'm going to have to look things up because I've never done it before. And then it's just stuff like this. Like, I'm quite good at Python, but these are just little gotchas. I don't know why this is happening, so I'm just going to write it down and figure out why. Under certain circumstances, yeah, I'm not doing that. Types.py. Models, yeah, fine. Schemas, base, interfaces, recommendation. Yeah, I'm going to use types. Types.py. Okay. And I will move my... Where is it? It's in here, isn't it? Async list. I will move my async list into there. Why doesn't it like this? Oh, overriding. Ah, right. Let's rename this then to app types. Yep, that'll do. Crawl. Get that. That fixes that. That does that. Nice. So now if I go to gather, we're going to import that. And then from app types, I'm going to import async list. And I don't think I need it anywhere else. So it should be all good. Just quickly test that that didn't break anything. Yeah, so this is sort of how I learn. The other thing is definitely do your own projects. What else? I mean, take lots of notes. Kieran, I'm not here. Have you heard of websites that you can use to search these things? I'm not sure I'm like the oracle of knowledge you need for finding a job in the UK. I mean, if you really want some job advice, you know, I would say get yourself a LinkedIn account. Find people who are recruiters in the space and just connect with them. And then when they're searching for people, you'll probably pop up because recruiters otherwise have to send cold emails or cold messages to people on LinkedIn. So if you are connected with them, that's not a cold email and it costs them less money. So that would be my advice if that's what you want to do. Post on there and try your best to be good. If you want a remote job in the UK, learn English well. That's definitely a big drawback if you can't speak English well. Yeah. Where are you from? Nobody responds. I mean, I'm not going to analyze your CV, but like what? Who did you reply? Who did you try and get information from, or who did you try and apply to, or whatever? Max iter equals 5. Gather async list object is not subscriptable. Why are you doing this to me? Should I just change this from is instance? Maybe I should just say one warning, 3 errors. Oh. Cannot access local variable temp dir when it is not associated with a variable. Okay. Good for you. I'm going to be back in. I'm going to be back shortly. Okay. So yeah, so what happened there? Why is this failing? Local variable tempter, where it is not associated with a value. Stop ephemeral. Is that because I have to kill this? Maybe. If I run it again. Yeah, that seems to work now. Oh yeah, I guess because I'm always serving it on the same port. Yeah. That'd be what it is. Okay. Cool. Right. Set that up again. And let's see. Import gather max iter equals 5. Wait, gather.gather. Yeah, just run that. And now it just works. What? Something like that. Okay. Stupid. Stupid in my opinion. But there we go. Get rid of that. Print type C nulls. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Kill you. And run this again. Hey, okay. So, 12 things passed, that's nice. For God's sake. Crawl async list. Yeah. That's not really a refactor, is it? But so, Kyun, do you do test-driven development? Because that is another way that you can become a better developer, for sure. These are the filtered L's, and then it fails. So it's saying the href isn't there. Wow. Okay, let's just see what we're getting from this. So we get some things, but what are we getting from here? Okay, so we do actually get some stuff. All right. So I get up to 5, but then it fails for some reason. Because it says the href isn't there, which is weird. So yeah. So that means I get to, in fact, actually, where's it saying it's from? It's saying, first letter drops links, process.py 88, line 88. If base site not in, link href. So maybe I just want to say flush equals true, get that out there nice and quick. And let's try again. And it's failing on this again. And we get true, 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 no falses. Which is strange. Key error. href. Is that because I'm using something different? For link in links. Okay, so as an aside here, I'll explain to you what I'm doing. So this is a Python notebook. People who use Python, particularly if you do data science, you'll have used this before. This is quite a useful development tool because it lets you put markdown in with code and have like a constantly running state. So if I set up state in one cell, say I set up my Postgres connection in this cell, that stays loaded. I don't have to load it again. So it's basically, you can prototype things very, very quickly inside a Python notebook. And this is one way of sort of testing your code and figuring out what's going wrong. And I like to test my code in this way. Now, what you'll see me doing as I go through this is, as I find problems, when I figure out what that problem is, I'll turn it into a unit test. And then that unit test can go into something like test crawler handles empty URL, etc. And I'm just writing a test that I can then run with PyTest. And some of these are going to fail because I don't have a Postgres client running. But basically, these check the functionality of my code. And that means when I'm developing, when I'm adding new features, when I'm developing things, I can run my tests to check that the behavior that I already have isn't being removed. I haven't removed that behavior with my tests, or sorry, with the changes I'm making. And test-driven development is when you write the tests first. So before you write code, you say, well, what do I want this code to do? And you write a test for that code. And then you write code to pass the test. And by doing this, you sort of make your code optimally testable. And if your code's optimally testable, then you have this nice feature where I can just run PyTest, check everything's working as expected every time I'm adding a new feature. And that keeps, one, your code easy to understand, because if you're having to test your own code, you naturally make it easier to understand. And it makes it easier to work on, because when you make changes, you don't have to remember that you did something like 100 days ago. If the test passes, then you know you did what you did didn't break anything. So that makes it much faster to develop, and that makes you a faster developer, and that makes you a better developer. So the faster you can develop things, the better you are. The cleaner your code is, the better you are. The easier to understand your code is, the better you are. And all of that comes from test-driven development. There's bound to be a way of doing it. Yeah, it's unit testing, but unit testing first, if that makes sense. Unit test before you write the code. This is the other way. So this is basically me finding an issue and then writing a test. But when I was making this before, I was doing test first, write code, test first, write code. Right, so why is this failing? Fine. Oh, what was that? Huh? If I killed my... No, I didn't. Ah, so it's not failing now. Oh, don't tell me it's another one of these stupid things where it just fails for no reason. Nope, Does do it. Does fail for no reason. I suppose I can debug it, can't I? Okay, well, the fastest way to learn a programming language, I mean, it's to say, for example, you wanted to learn Python, I would recommend that you go to this site and you work through the exercises for the language you're interested in. And this has got tons of different languages. And potentially you also go to, what's it called? This site, and you learn the language. And any time you come across some terminology or something you don't understand, go to your flashcards, write a question, figure out what the answer is, do the answer. Use ChatGPT to help you with the answers if you can't find it anywhere else. And as you go through the day, so say the next day, you want to go through about, I don't know, 10, 20 of the flashcards, just to keep yourself learning, keep the knowledge fresh in your mind. And I would call this learning the lexicon. The lexicon is the group of terms that pertain to a language. So it's like like the jargon of the language. And each language does things slightly differently. And if you don't understand the lexicon of the language, you're going to find it difficult to operate in the language because you won't know what anyone's talking about. So yeah, I would do these things first. And this gets you up to date with the lexicon, how things are done in, say, Python or in Bash or in C or in C hash or whatever, or C sharp. Once you've done that, you can come onto a site like Code Wars, which is a good site for learning, for doing coding problems, basically. I would do that for a little bit, but then you should start making things of your own. And just that you learn to program for a reason. Probably, well, and unless you're just doing programming purely because it's for money, etc., that's fine. But will you ever be a great programmer if you do it just for money? I think no. You have to love it. And the easiest way to get really good at programming in any language is to make something that you actually truly want yourself. Build something, release it open source, put it on your GitHub, and publish it everywhere, and just say like, look, I made this thing, blah blah blah. Try and get feedback. To be honest, like streaming stuff as well, it's probably a good way to learn. Makes you be a bit more honest about what you're doing and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what I would suggest. I streamed myself learning Rust, and I'm not good at Rust at all. I'm upfront about that, and I just want to learn how it works, and why not stream it? Because it means I take a bit more time to think things through and explain things as if I'm talking to an audience. And that process of writing it down, actually doing it, solving the problem, and talking the problem out loud, all of that helps the information get into your mind more easily. So that would be my approach. Learn the lexicon and consistently learn it, but then build things that you want. And definitely do this. Take notes about things that you're doing, because it's so much easier to come back through and like search through these, and just writing things down helps you to think. Anyway, so this is failing for some reason because there's some link doesn't have a href in it, which is weird. For link in links, if base site not in link href, and it's saying, well, this link doesn't have a href, but when I check this, can I await that? Oh yeah, I just remembered what I was going to do. Let's come in and debug it. So if I put a little debug thing here, I get rid of my one here, and debug cell. Is there no way to just continue? I feel like the issue here is I'm not seeing the full stack trace or something like that. Something going on probably with async IO. I wonder if I kill this, I set max iter to 8 instead. I set you up. Will I get to 8 different things, or will I still fail? I only got to 2. Really? I'm so confused by this. So we've gone that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But then the processor has failed. I see. Let's try this again. Okay. So we got there in the end. Oh, the perils of async. So if I just change this to max I to 1, and then I kill this, let's see if I restart. Let's see if I still get this href issue. I've been having some strange issues. Okay, so that one was fine. But if I kill this, I set this to 2, and I reload you, am I now going to get what I want? The error. Yes, I am. Cool. Okay, nice. So that means then that I can fix this probably just by doing that. And then this will call this first, and it will only continue if it has that attribute. And if I do my, I mean, actually, I do want to test this, don't I? So test process.py. Oh, there's only one. Let's just copy that. Q.put. I mean, do I really want to bother with the embedding model, all of that stuff? Do I even need it? Oh, what is it? Mocha? Presume that's right. Is it beautiful soup? Something like that. attach soup. So 4 vectors should not be added. Just 1 vector was added. Okay, let's try that. This is a long old test. Oh, it's error. Let's just do this. And then let's do this. No module named soup. Okay. I see. I see. So instead, what they want me to do is do I even need this? In fact, let's just kill that. And then say pi test process. T-links. Dot beautiful soup dot find all. See if that works. one failed. Oh, yes. Get in. Okay. Nice. So, assertion error. Assert 4 equals 0. Get rid of that. Oh, I see. So what are they expecting here? Change that to that. Bosh. Don't need this soup. One passed. Okay. That's that. So I've now got the... Yeah, so I now know that I can handle the case where my A tag, an A tag being used, doesn't have an href. I guess this happens when people just want the functionality of an A tag, but they don't actually want it to go anywhere, so they kind of want it to highlight when hovered and stuff, and they just can't be bothered to do that behavior themselves, which is fine. So let's get up lazy git. And what's this? Let's just call this. Let's call this test. Improve debug. Okay. See feet or maybe fix. Check links have. This is one of those. This is one of those. And the rest can be right. So this all works. This is all fine. Good, good, good. Now let's think. What's next? So if this works now, right, time to check this works properly. In fact, maybe I'll just do a quick PyTest. Check it all works fine. Cool. Load you. And now let's see if I do max iter 5, is this going to fail? Hey, it didn't fail. Right. I think we're finally there. Maybe. I'm going to restart. Kill those two things. Start it again. So how bad this is going right now. I'm at 20% memory usage. That's not too bad. I've got 64 gigabytes to work with, so it's fine. So basically, for the last 2 hours, I've been debugging things, trying to figure out why my code isn't working and coming up against various edge cases. And now I think we're just about ready to test. Can I get 50 different things? Okay, so these are the filtered L's, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if this works. Oh. Hopefully they're not going to get annoyed at me crawling. Is that it? Nice. Okay. Let's get that. Haha! Nice. So I've got 49 different little things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's this Casey Hanmer WordPress twice. And then I've got 49. So I've got 1 to 49. So I guess I'm missing one, maybe? Anyway, doesn't matter. There we go. So I think I will leave it. Oh, what's this? Page 2. Ah, right. Well, this could be an issue, couldn't it? because this could fit lots. Yeah. That could fit quite a lot, couldn't it, really? Get that information returned to you. Okay. So only this many vectors, that seems a bit weird. $10. Okay, well, that cannot be right. Damn. Thought I had it made, man. Does it have a limit? Limit, ah. Okay, limit -1. Index error, doesn't like that. Okay, limit 10,000. Hey, 283 vectors, let's go! Okay, so this is the next step in the process. I need to save this, and I can use that for my search testing, which would be good. And then I guess it's just about making the interface look nice and then slowly building up library code that helps me do this a bit better. That helps me basically not have something like this be the page that gets shown because it covers so many different possible questions. I mean, hopefully this is so general that it wouldn't, but I guess we don't know that. Yeah, there we go. So let's save it. Yeah, cursor.fetch also. Let's meta equals that. Points, yeah, points equals that. Port dump. Do that one first. And then we also want to see list and non-type. Fine. Whatever. That's strange. How have we ended up with crisis? What crisis? Get rid of you, get rid of you. Get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. Let's gather. Got it. Okay. Okay. So I've probably accidentally ended up with some stupid L's here. I guess. At some point. Yep. Yep. I have crawled some stupid stuff. Bugger. Stuff that I don't care about. Okay. So in that case then what I need to do is come to gather and say regex patterns actually Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the retry URLs and I'm going to add them to the regex patterns. Let's say netlock, something like that, I think. And so that should let through these patterns. I could do that, or maybe I just... Maybe we just want to say regex patterns is retrials. Maybe. Let's do that for now. Let's see how this works. Gather 50. Yeah, gather 75 this time. Kill you. Restart. 75 crawled pages. Here I come. I mean, it's stuff like this as well. Look at this. Yeah, we don't want this shit. Reply to com. What the hell is that? How is that not a clean DIRL? Share Twitter. Hell no. Okay. What is the test utility? Test cleanouts. Okay. How's this function? Quarks any pass though. That works now. What else is there? Params, get rid of that. Don't know about that. Let's see what I got this time. Okay, let's try this again. Let's kill you. Come on. It's taking so long. Okay, well, clearly something has gone wrong there. Bin that. What the hell? Right, okay, fine. So why isn't test gather working all of a sudden? So annoying when this happens. Right, so that one runs fine. That one runs fine. So if I just kill this then. Okay. So something's definitely going wrong with that. Not fully certain what just yet, but maybe the retryouts aren't coming through or something. What's going on? So if I say so false, this should end immediately. Okay, so it loads the log resource, that all works fine. And then gather.gather. Test gather, we got the DB client. server page 1. I'm saying max height of 4. Oh, right, it's got to be something to do with this then. Ah, right. Yeah, okay. Something like that. So basically what was happening was I was retrying URLs from the database, but because the URL in my database looks like this, it wasn't finding anything. So it was basically the server URL was the site I was searching, and it was like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to find anything from that. So instead, if I say regex patterns is equal to https and http, then I should have no issues. Test this together. nice. Right. Yep, that passed. Let's check everything. Oh! This is why test-driven development's awesome. Oh. This is really slow. I should probably do something about this. Like 33 seconds to run all the tests is super slow. Might be better to clear out this or something. Yeah. Make this a function and then clear it at the end of every. Clear it somehow. In between tests. Anyway, at least now we know it works. So let's set this up again. Oh, that's cool. And let's get 75 different pages with no queries and no bollocks. Let's go. Hopefully I don't get banned. WP admin. Right. Number of vectors, 699. Length, 75. Don't care about that. No. Oh, actually, I should probably call this. You know what? Ta-da! Okay, so now I've got my test data, and I should probably change the name of the stream to something that's less, something that's more realistic to what it actually was. Yeah, it's basically all debugging, and now I've got test data for my search engine. I am going to end it here, and then I'm going to probably start another stream where I start working on the search engine side of things. So, chat to you in a bit. Bye.